What is slope-intercept form of a line? Mx plus b. So we spent a long time graphing. Yes, Christian.
You haven't done one.
Oh my God.
Go look in that. We spent a long time graphing in this form. It's called slope-intercept because it gives us what? The slope, which is m, and the y-intercept. And so last Wednesday, Thursday, and then part of the day on Friday, we practiced writing equations in slope-intercept form, okay? So I gave you either 2 points or I gave you a line. But the 2 points that I gave you always contained the y-intercept, so it made it easy, right? For example, maybe I gave you an equation, a graph that looks something like this. We're doing notes, but this is a recap so that you can do today, yes. Let's say I gave you this line. Here. Okay. What is this? What are the coordinates of this point, by the way?
2, 0.
Close. 0, -2. Because it goes down. So if I asked you to write the equation of this line, you need 2 things. What 2 things do you need? The slope and the y-intercept. And so I can get both of those from this picture, right? Just looking. What is the slope of this line? From one point to the other, how many does it go up or down, and then how many does it go over?
1, 2.
It goes up 1, right? And it goes over how many? 1. So what is the slope?
1.
1 over 1, which is 1. Do we all agree with that? Okay, because some of us were struggling to graph slope. If you can't look at it and tell the slope, you surely can't graph it. Okay? All right, so rise over run. It's positive because it looks like it's going up a hill, right? All right. How about the y-intercept? -2. That's going to be my b. Okay? So my equation for this line would be what?
It will, okay, hold on. 1x.
That's right, because it's mx, so 1x. What's another way I could write that? 1x minus 2. Okay. What if I make it a little bit harder, and rather than give you the graph, I give you 2 points. For example, I give you -3, 1, and 0, -8. And I ask you to write the equation of the line that goes through those 2 points. Well, we're still reviewing. This is still what we were doing before. So I still need what? My slope, and I need my y-intercept. So how do I find slope now that I can't just look and count? So remember it's y's up top because y's are the ones that rise up or down, right? So y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Does everybody remember that? Okay. I'm not actually teaching the concept. I'm just kind of refreshing you to make sure you remember from the weekend, right? So if I'm going too fast, tell me. Am I? Okay. Up top, what is -8 minus 1? -9. What is 0 minus -3? Careful. Same change, change. What is negative 9 divided by 3? All right, now what's left that I need? How do you know? Because the y is 0. Anything that has 0 and then a number is your y-intercept, right? And all of these were pretty easy for us because the second point they gave us was the y-intercept, right? If they gave us a graph, we could look and see where it crossed. If they gave us the 2 points, we could look and know, hey, that's pretty easy. I can pull the y-intercept from that. And so my equation would be what? Or minus it. Either or is fine. Okay, just recognize that those are the same things. So what if, and this is where we get into today's lesson, what if this second point was not 0 something? We're going to have to find it. Oh, Lord. All right. 4-2. Because we're kind of piggybacking on the 4-1 lesson, okay? All right, so let me start you out easy. Let's say, let's say I know that a line passes through the point negative 1, 3 with a slope of negative 4. And I want the equation of a line. Okay? This time I have the slope, right? It's already calculated for me, right? But I still need the same 2 things if I'm in slope-intercept form. I need a slope, and I need a y-intercept. Yeah. You want me to pause a second, let you catch up with me? All right, we still need the same two things. Before the y-intercept is what was given to us, and that was easy, right? All right, so now we have the slope, so that's easy. But what I don't have is the y-intercept. So I need to know how to find the y-intercept. So here's what I'm going to do. No, because that's negative 1, 3. If it was 0, 3, yes, it would be 3. But because this is not 0, oh no, I got some work to do, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to write the equation using the slope. Okay? Now, what does anybody know what we can do to find B? Yes, Makai. That's okay. If this is a point on the line, okay, now stay with me because we did this. If this is a point on the line, every point on a line is a what to the equation? It starts with an S. Solution. It's a solution, which means if I plug it in, it makes the equation true, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this point for X and Y. Okay? So use the point given to plug in, and then I'm going to solve for Y. I mean for B. We plug in here, okay? Remember, X is negative 1 and Y is 3. Watch what happens. I take this same equation. What did I say Y was? 3. What did I say X was? Can you figure out what B equals the way it's written now? Sure. What's negative 4 times negative 1? Positive 4, right? How do I solve it now for B? Because look, it's 4 plus B. Guys, I need you up here, okay? I need you passing this test, so I need you with me. All right. How do I solve this for b? Look at the equation. 3 equals 4 plus b. How do I get b by itself? What's hooked to b right now? The 4. What is it doing to b? Is it adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? It's being added to b, so I have to subtract it to get rid of it, right? Come on, guys. This is one-step linear equations we did in chapter 1. All right, subtract. What is 3 minus 4? Negative 1. Guess what I have now? B, which is the y-intercept. So now I have what I need, and I can just put it in that equation. With a slope of 2. I still need the same thing. I need a slope and I need a y-intercept. So my question to you is, do they give me either one? And why? All right, they give me the slope, so I don't have to calculate it, right? It's 2. So that's my m. What they don't give me is the y-intercept. How do I know that 3 is not the y-intercept here? That's 6 in front. That's 6 in front. It tells me that that is not the y-intercept. Okay. If it was 0, 3, then yes. So my question is, how do I find the y-intercept with what I've been given? That is exactly right. So let's write the equation with what we know. We know that y equals 2x plus b. I'm going to plug in. Okay. Plus b. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this point and I'm going to put x equals 6 and I'm going to put y equals 3 so that I can find b. Are you all with me on that? All right, so 3 equals 2 times what? 6 plus b. How do I solve that for b? What do I do first? Do the 2 times 6. So 3 equals 12 plus b. Yes, ma'am. What's 3 minus 12? Now do you have everything you need to write the equation of the line? That's exactly right. No, either minus 9 or plus negative 9, but not both. All right. So what I'm fixing to show you is we're going to take it a step further, okay? We're going to take what we did before and what we just did, and we're going to put them together, okay? So this time, I've given you a point and I've given you a slope. I've given you a point and I've given you a y-intercept, right? And we've had to find the slope. Now, what if I just give you 2 points? Nothing else, just 2 points. Let's say -2, 5, and 2, -1. And I said write an equation of the line in slope-intercept form. The first thing you always want to do is the slope, because if you think about it, to plug in, if I plugged in an x and a y, I'd have an m and a b, and I can't solve that for one or the other. So same thing, but I want to always do the slope first. So if I'm not given the slope, how do I find the slope? Yep, that formula. We don't have the slope now. Do you see that? Okay, so we just have 2 points, but I still need the same two things. I still need a slope. I still need a y-intercept. So now, instead of just plugging in for the slope, I'm going to have to actually find it first. Then I'll carry on like I was before. It doesn't matter which one you start with, as long as if you start with this one up top, then you start with this one on the bottom. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. All right. You said 5 minus negative 1 over. See, you're now you're messing up. You got, because I started with this up top, I have to start with this one on the bottom. That's right. Whatever point you start with up top is the point you have to start with on the bottom. All right, what's 5 minus negative 1? Same change. What is negative 2 minus 2? Negative 4. If you're $2 in the hole and you borrow $2 more from somebody, then you owe them $4. This reduces to what? What does this reduce to? Somebody started to say it. 3 over 2, and my fraction is negative. Guys, he's right. Divide them both by 2. All right. Now I'm back to where I was on the previous example. Yes? Are you confused? What? The other one didn't reduce. The other one was a whole number. This one I could reduce it down by dividing by 2 on top and bottom. All right. Yes, sir. What do you mean, which one of you? So you would get the same thing, guys. And let me show you this, because this is a good question, because a lot of you keep asking. Let's say whenever I found the slope, I didn't start with 5 up top. Let's say I did, and I think this is what you're asking, Makai. Let's say I did negative 1 minus 5 divided by 2 minus negative 2. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. No, watch what happens. Watch what happens. What's negative 1 minus 5? Negative 6. What's 2 minus negative 2? Positive 4. I could simplify both of these to 3 over 2. Look what happens. It's the same thing. Okay? It's the same thing. The only stipulation is whichever point you start with in the top has to be the same one you start with in the bottom. Yeah. Some more. All right. Now I'm back to my y-intercept. I need to find my y-intercept. I have found my slope. I need to find the y-intercept. Okay? Same thing I did before. Look, I have the slope. It's negative 3 over 2. But I need to plug in to find b. Now this time it's a little bit different. I have 2 points. Right? Guess what? It doesn't matter which one you use. Either one of those points that you use, maybe Kennedy chooses to use negative 2, 5, and maybe Zaya chooses to use 2, negative 1. They're going to come back to the same b value. Okay? Pick your favorite one. Which one looks the best to you? Negative 2, 5? All right, I'll show you with both of them. Look, let's do 2, negative 1 first. I like to use, I always choose the one that has the most positive numbers if that's the case, and then the smallest values, because those are usually easiest to work with. All right, So now we plug in just like we did before. -1 equals -3 over 2 times 2 plus b. So you've got your handy dandy calculator. All right, let's multiply -3 over 2 times 2 and tell me what you get. -3. A negative times a positive should give you a negative. Shh. Guys, you're not going to understand this if you can't quit talking long enough to focus on the lesson. Okay, now solve it for b. Plus 3, because you do the opposite of what it is. So 2 equals b.
So the equation is y equals -2 over 2 plus 2.
That's right. Now, as some of you are finishing up writing this, Kamaria, if you did this equation up here, if you do -3 over 2 times -2, didn't you ask me about this one a minute ago? If you do this, -3 over 2 times -2 would give you positive 3. 3 plus b. If you subtract 3 from both sides, you get 2. And that's the same b that we got down here. So no matter which point you pick, you can't pick a right or a wrong point, is what I'm getting at. They're both. I was showing if we use this. Why am I talking over y'all? That is rude and disrespectful. Because I used the point -2,5, I was showing her what would happen if we used the other point instead. We still get the same b. Nope. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Either one will give you the same b, and then you plug in. Yep. Yep. One more.
Thank you.
I've got 2 points. I want to write the equation in slope-intercept form. I need 2 things to write slope-intercept form. I need a slope, and I need an intercept. Okay? The slope. I'm not given the slope, so how do I find it? Tell me what to put on top. 5 minus, careful Zaya, -1. 5 minus -1. And then you got to do which one on the bottom? Why do I have to start with negative? Because you started with 5, you have to start with -2. Good job, Zaya. What is 5? Is this the same one we just did? I told y'all keep getting off track, and I don't know, y'all can't focus because I can't focus. All right. Shh. That is a prime example of why you need to focus. You need to put your blinders on in this class and ignore everything except what is up front. All right. Slope. Which one do I do? Give me the equation. 4 minus -2 divided by -5 minus 1. All right, up top, what does that become? 6. Now, what's -5 minus 1? -6. 6 divided by -6 is -1. Is anybody confused on finding the slope? If you do same, change. And use your calculator. Plug it in your calculator. Use your calculator. Either if the top or if one of the two is negative, it makes the whole thing negative. If both are negative, it makes it positive. Like if that had been a negative 6 up top, divided by a negative 6, we'd have a positive 1. All right, intercept. Remember, I have the slope, and I need the intercept. So I'm going to pick one of the points. Does it matter which point I pick? I'm going to get the same answer no matter what I use. So which one would y'all like to use? Okay, so I'm going to do negative 2 equals negative 1 times 1 plus b. What's my first step? The slope is negative 1. I plug positive 1 in for the x. She said it's not negative 1, it's positive. This is my x, and this is my y. The slope is the negative 1. Yeah, she's getting confused because the slope is negative 1. They're the same value, one's positive, one's negative. All right. Negative 2 equals, what's negative 1 times 1? How do I solve that for b? Plus 1. Do you have everything you need now to write your equation? You do the opposite to get rid of it. Shh, hold on, guys. There's a question. Shh, shh, shh. You with me? Okay. All right. Pick back up, Zaya. What'd you say? It's y equals. I'm going to do minus 1. But you can do plus or minus. Okay? I got one more example, but you can. What if I give it to you a different way? All right. What if I gave you these two things here? Tell me, what does that tell? I told you to write the equation of the line. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. That all this is a different way to say 4, 9 and negative 4, negative 7. It's just written a different way. It's saying if you plug in 4, you get 9, so that's a point. If you plug in negative 4, you get negative 7, so that's a point. So now I still need the same thing, right? Slope. Negative 7 minus 9. I subtract the y's. Now, what goes on the bottom? Negative 4 minus 4. What is, and use your calculator, negative 7 minus 9? What's negative 16 divided by negative 8?
Oh, no.
2. It's just 2. It's 2 negative. Remember what I told you? Use your calculator to help you. That's okay. All right, Y-intercept. Y-intercept. I now have y equals 2x plus b. I need a point to plug in. 4, 9. Why are you picking 4, 9? That's my thought too. I'd rather work with positives than negatives any day. I'm going to use this one. What goes here? What do I start with? 9. That's okay. 2 times. That's right. All right, hold on. Slow down, speed racer. Subtract the 8 from both sides to get b by itself. And I get 1 equals b. So what is the equation of this line? And I'm done.